Early life of Edward White. Edward Douglas White was born on November 3, 1845, in Lafourche Parish, Louisiana. He was the son of a slave-holding sugar planter and son of wealthy sugar farmers. He was born to Catherine Ringgold and to Edward Douglas White, who was also known for being the 10th governor of Louisiana and a member of the United States House of Representatives. Education. White went to a Jesuit school when he was young. White traveled north to college and enrolled into Mount St. Mary's College and into Georgetown College, which is now known as Georgetown University. White received an undergraduate degree from Georgetown College and received a legal education from reading law, which is the study to become a lawyer. White's education was cut short due to the Civil War. White was enlisted into the Confederate Army in 1861. 2 years later, in 1863, he was captured by Union troops as a prisoner and remained in captivity until the end of the war. Upon his release in 1865, White read law and attended the University of Louisiana. He was admitted to the bar in 1866 and established a law practice in New Orleans. Presidential appointments. White was elected to the Louisiana State Senate in 1874, and from 1878 to 1880 he served on the Louisiana Supreme Court. In 1891, the Supreme Legislature elected him to the United States Senate. President Grover Cleveland nominated White to the Supreme Court of the United States on February 19, 1894. White had served for 16 years on the court when, on December 12, 1910, President William Taft nominated him as Chief Justice of the United States. Court cases. Two important cases that Edward White was involved in were Plessy v. Ferguson, which is about the state's segregation of separate and equal public places in the United States, which had become legal. The second case that he also participated in was Gwen versus the United States, which was about the southern states that wouldn't allow the African Americans to vote. White also participated in this case and wrote an anonymous court, which ended up bringing down the southern states that were not letting the African Americans to vote. Interesting facts. White was the 9th Supreme Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, who was also known for his enunciation of the rule of reason, and was also the first Associate Justice to be appointed to Chief Justice. Death and legacy of Edward White. White served on the court for a total of 26 years, 10 of them as Chief Justice. He died on May 19, 1921 at the age of 75. White was buried in Washington and then moved to Cincinnati, Ohio. White was given 2 statues of honor. One of them is placed in the National Statuary Hall in the United States Capitol, and the second statue was placed in New Orleans in front of the Louisiana Supreme Court.
Norma McCorvey was a young, unmarried Texas resident seeking an abortion but was denied because of a law that stated that getting an abortion was illegal. Henry Wade was the attorney that was appointed to defend the Dallas County. After 2 years of a legal battle, the Supreme Court made their decision on January 22, 1973. A pregnant unmarried woman living in Texas who had given a fake name, Jane Roe, wanted an abortion, but was denied by a law in Texas, which was that a woman could not get an abortion unless the fetus was affecting the woman's health. Otherwise, it was illegal. She felt that them denying her an abortion was a violation of her right to privacy. Roe took the case to the Supreme Court because she believed that this was a private matter. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of Roe 7-2, and they agreed that this was a violation of her privacy. They decided that if a woman wanted an abortion, they could get one as long as it was during their first trimester. The case went to the Supreme Court because Jane Roe, or Norma McCorvey, felt that this was a violation of her privacy rights. In court, she was then protected by the 14th Amendment.